Some moments are so unbelievable, they sound completely made up. But this time, the camera captured everything exactly as it happened. Get ready, because what you're about to see is so shocking. You wouldn't believe it if it wasn't caught on camera. People intentionally burning fields so fresh grass can grow faster. Sounds crazy, but it actually works. His tire blew out ages ago. Here's my wife with her new car, especially when she's reversing. Let's just say, I stay quiet and pray.
Wow. Oh my God. Miren eso.
Footage of glaciers melting in the Arctic. Honestly, it's beautiful and terrifying at the same time. Looks like cotton floating in the air, but nope, it's spring snow. So thick you can barely see the road. I've never seen this tennis skill like this before, and that suction power, insane. If I was flying a plane and saw that giant whirlpool forming over the water, she's officially the main attraction. It started as a perfect sunny day, and suddenly turned into something straight out of a horror movie. She also just got a new bike, but maybe getting a license first would have been a smart move. This is just fascinating to watch. I've never seen a hair drying technique like this in my life. Creative, but risky. Helicopter footage of a full circle rainbow. That's one of those rare sights you don't forget. Leopard got a bit too close, but the dogs basically said, "Not today, bro," and chased him away. Floods everywhere, people panicking, and this guy drives his Jeep like he's going out for coffee. Nothing can stop him. Security camera shows how fast carelessness can turn into a fire. Good thing they had a system, otherwise it would be a disaster. Something really feels off with nature lately. This looks like a movie scene, not real life. Before we continue, please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and tell us in the comments which country you're watching from. We'd love to know where most of our amazing audience is coming from. For a second, he thought there was an alien in his house. Would you buy anything from her? I wouldn't even take it for free. This snow looks like it came out of a factory, not from the sky. Like they're training for the Olympics. This guy on the motorcycle has no idea how lucky he just got. That was way too close. Dogs are amazing, but dolphins, they're on a whole different level. If you ever wanted a free fish spa, here's your chance. Just depends how brave you are. Luckily, she turned around just in time and spotted the danger. Gravity decided to take the lead. The pole surrenders to the force pulling it down. The grass looks like it will never end. The owner is probably dreaming of retirement while holding that mower. Every millimeter here means the difference between life and eternity. Biology decided to make an unusual experiment here. We don't know whether to water this or run away from it. Fishermen could walk on the surface without sinking. The density of these creatures exceeds all laws of logic and nature. The pan dances rhythmically under the master's skilled hands. He turns ordinary ingredients into pure magic on a plate. The liquid disappears into the cracks of this gray and hard mass. Maybe they hope the concrete will bloom by tomorrow morning. Winter decided to send greetings directly from the depths of the earth. White waves spread faster than anyone can escape. The depths have clearly decided to show their darkest and greatest secrets. The boat looks like a toy next to this amount of muscle and teeth. Sky has turned gray with wings flapping incessantly. They dive into the waves faster than any modern drone. The path they are racing on is narrower than average human patience. Adrenaline clearly replaces their common sense while the pedals constantly turn. Takeoff at this angle looks like a scene from an action movie. The propellers cut through the thin air as the machine slowly detaches from the rock. The perspective from the air turns powerful creatures into small black dots. The ground pulses under thousands of hooves moving in perfect synchronicity. The huge ship acts like an ordinary toy in a bathtub. The power of the storm turns thousands of tons of steel as if they were made of paper. Interior of the Earth ejects excess energy through this narrow opening. It is fascinating to observe the raw power coming directly from the depths. An infestation of this scale causes tingles in any normal viewer. The tickling of thousands of small legs is certainly not an experience anyone wants to have. Cars become victims of the ruthless impact of frozen missiles from above. Owners watch helplessly as their property is slowly but surely destroyed. The engine noise probably shakes the windows on all surrounding buildings. It seems impossible for the pilot to maintain balance at such a low altitude. The unusual phenomenon looks as if the forest decided to start breathing. The white mass slowly rolls over the branches, hiding everything in front of it. Mud slides down the slope like melted chocolate in some weird movie. The destructive power of this slow process is actually incredibly large and dangerous. Nature has clearly decided to have some fun by pelting us from above. Every piece looks large enough to cause serious damage to a roof. The ice armor has completely trapped every leaf and twig. The forest now resembles a museum made of the finest transparent glass. The falls remind one of a perfect animation from an old Disney hit. Every droplet falls exactly where an artist would draw it. Insects fly in swarms that obscure the view of the trees. One wonders how they even find their way in such a crowd. Horror movies become reality when these swarms appear. The air becomes so thick that it is almost impossible to breathe normally. A flash of light momentarily blinds everyone in the cockpit. Physics, however, has anticipated such situations, so the passengers are safe. Frozen plates dance in a strange rhythm of sea currents. The sound of crushing glass echoes along the shore as the mass slowly moves. The cracks spread faster than he can react. An ice bath awaits anyone who does not respect the thickness of the frozen layer. Their tailcoats fit perfectly as they rush toward the icy shore. The group seems very organized despite constantly stumbling a bit. Wet clothes and the cold will be his only memory. We doubt he managed to stay dry after such a sudden movement. Smoke and ash create an image that takes the observer's breath away. Every atom of air trembles from the force of this unexpected event. Beauty and danger dance here in a perfect, deadly circle. Technology has clearly reached a level bordering on magic. The viewer remains confused because the senses say it's just plastic after all. The footage is mesmerizing as the sawdust swirls around the powerful machine. The skill with which this man operates the machine is truly top-notch. Traffic regulations probably don't anticipate such an incredible transport undertaking on the road. Adrenaline rises as they try to seek shelter in a safe place. The cold air becomes filled with dust and ice covering everything. Luck is the only factor deciding the outcome of this icy race. The light it emits probably serves to attract gullible prey in the depths. Creatures like this remind us how little we know our own planet. Scientists would surely debate for hours about the origin of this glowing wonder. Sensation of suction must be both strange and uncomfortable. The starfish or octopus simply doesn't want to let go of its warm prey. Viewers wonder who in this situation was actually more scared. Eyes are wide open while observing the play of reflections and waves. The sincerity of the child's reaction reminds us of the beauty of small, everyday things in life. Moment of launch always brings a dose of tension and great anticipation to those present. The metal giant sways while finding its ideal balance on the water. The crowd cheers as foam spreads around the newly built steel ship. Formations change faster than the eye can even follow. The sound of their calling resembles the howl of the wind on a stormy, dark night. A volunteer for this task would probably need an infinite amount of free time. Scales move slowly as it gently sniffs the surrounding air. Maybe this is some long-forgotten relative of dragons from old legends. Every detail on its body serves as ideal protection from predators. Jumps over the waves look like dangerous flights through damp air. Passengers are probably screaming from a mix of pure fear and indescribable excitement. The entire lake echoes from the power of this modern water speeder. Silence surrounds this scene as the mass moves forward soundlessly. The depth of the lake hides most of this cold and massive traveler. No one knows how long this slow, frozen journey will last. The crack spreads across the landscape like a wound on the planet's face. It is terrifying to think about the forces that cause such a brutal break. Safety here is just a concept that disappears in the shadow of this chasm. People come from afar just to see this miracle of nature. The light illuminates wet rocks as the stream follows its peaceful path. It is fascinating how two opposing elements get along in this place. Gravity is relentless when the load is poorly distributed on the deck. The panic on the faces of those present speaks louder than any words of warning. Fortunately, help is near, but the damage is already irreversibly done. Winter showed its creative side while we were all fast asleep. These ice flowers will disappear as soon as the heater starts doing its job. Scraping ice in the morning has never been a favorite activity for anyone. Innovation is often born from pure necessity and a little laziness. The ice gives way under the blast of air that literally erases it from the sidewalk. Every clever solution deserves praise, even if it looks a bit funny. Light shimmers in rainbow colors on every thin membrane. The sight is calming as we watch the bubbles slowly pop one after another. A chemical reaction has turned an ordinary liquid into an endless visual spectacle. The landscape looks like it's from some dark movie. Nature can be incredibly cruel when it decides to turn everything into stone. It is better to bypass this place until the sun appears again. Evolution has come up with a bizarre way to protect this sea creature. The observer wonders how organs even fit into such a thin space. Watching this fish gives the feeling that we are looking at something from another planet. And that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss what's next. Drop a comment with your favorite moment, and I'll see you in the next video.